Apple is soon going to allow you to put new products on a payment plan. You soon, however, will not be able to take that phone call on your flight. And Shaq thinks celebrities are a-holes. All that plus more on today's episode of the Blind Radio Guy podcast.
Another day is here. It's the Blind Radio Guy podcast.
Here we go again, episode 95 of the Blind Radio Guy podcast. I am Romero, Danny, whatever you want to call me. BlindRadioGuy.com is the website. Today is Vanilla Ice Cream Day, July 23rd, 2026. And celebrating birthdays today. If you celebrate a birthday, you share it with Daniel Radcliffe, Monica Lewinsky, Marlon Wayans, and rest in peace, Philip Seymour Hoffman, who was born on this day in 1967. And I thought this was really cool. On this day in history in 1829, Michigan surveyor and inventor William Austin Burt patented the typographer, the first typewriting machine patented in the U.S., and the ancestor of every keyboard we use today. It was clunky and it never caught on commercially, but it planted the seed for everything that followed. To navigate the computer, a lot of people ask blind people how we navigate the computer, and everything we do on the computer is done by the keyboard. So the fact that there were enough keys, and eventually over time there became enough keys to be able to create every single action you make happen on the mouse is so cool. And so I love that we're able to still type this way, and it's the oldest form. I saw a typewriter for, what was it, for sale? Somebody was giving away or selling a typewriter they had found. Oh my goodness. Now, one of the things you're always going to notice about my podcast is if I can squeeze in a story about tech, about travel, or something music related, I'm going to squeeze that in there. So you'll often find a lot of stories about airplanes because I love traveling. I really do. But this is crazy, and I don't know how you're going to enforce this. But phone calls on planes could soon be banned. Phone calls on flights have technically been illegal since Congress passed a ban in 2018, but the FAA never set a deadline to enforce it. A new bipartisan bill, the Quiet Skies Act, would force the FAA to finalize the ban within 180 days, and former flight attendants say it's about more than manners since a loud call inches from your seatmate disrupts everyone around you. But again, like how do you enforce that? There have been times that I wanted to make sure that I got to everyone. I called a couple people before I ascended into the air. And so I make phone calls before I've made calls. I've went up in the air while still on a call. You know what I'm saying? So, like, I don't know how you enforce this. I don't know how you make this a thing. You gotta beat the system or the system will beat you. No, I don't know. Tell me what you think about phone calls on airplanes, or have you always just believed that if you stay on the phone on a flight, it'll take the flight down? Because there's people who truly, truly do believe that. Now, Apple is launching a leasing program for iPhones and Macs. Apple is rolling out Apple Upgrade, a new leasing program backed by Klarna, launching July 28th. Customers will be able to lease iPhones and Apple Watches for 24 months and Macs and iPads for 36 months, paying monthly instead of upfront. Apple Care isn't included, and entry-level devices like the Apple Watch SE and the iPhone 16 aren't eligible. And Shaquille O'Neal says that celebrities are a-holes. Yeah, Shaq is once again explaining why he refuses to be called a celebrity. He says that he doesn't text other NBA players, past or present, because they're a-holes, and walked away from the celebrity label years ago, calling that word weird. He'd rather show up without an entourage, sign autographs, and treat people like a regular guy would. So I think that's what everybody has always said they loved about Shaq. Even the people that I know who have met Shaq, they're like, he's just a really cool guy. He's just a regular guy. And I think that's what makes him likable. I think saying these things makes him likable. And it is kind of true. You don't ever really see him hanging out with celebrities, right? It is actually a kind of a wild take there. So let me know what you think. That is always interesting to hear about these celebrities and what they think about their kind. That is it for today's episode. That's a short one. I am so glad you enjoyed the game yesterday that we played with Precious. It was weird food pairings from around the world, right, that are an actual menu item or a pregnancy craving that you might have heard or read about. You can go ahead and find me anywhere you can find people on social media today. TikTok, Facebook, all of it, Blind Radio Guy. And I'll see you next episode.